All right. Receiving my content. Thanks, YouTube. Please don't, please receive the content of me. Yeah, we're live. Nice, quiet. Because the sun rose on the first day of their rebellion. So, it's good wording. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Night Livestream. I'm your host, animefanrk2k, here with more of the Eden of Grisaia. Last time we made a deal with Thanatos. And we're gonna see how far that deal goes. So, with that said, let's do it. Sun rose on the first day of their rebellion. Alright, that was a pretty funny way to start. Not gonna lie, did not expect a random horn. It had been less than a restful night. Drawing lots determined who was bunking where, crawled into their cots and closed their eyes, but for the most part, they were too worked up to sleep. And in the morning, they were roused by the sudden blaring of a horn. The source of this alarming sound wasn't difficult to locate. Kominasachi, already clad in a black maid uniform, standing at the prow of their boat behind a traditional big catch banner, playing some sort of trumpet with a remarkable lack of competence. Also, looks like someone drew on Michiru's eyes. Well, that happens. None of them had exactly slept soundly, meaning their heads were already leaden with fatigue. And the tuneless blaring of that horn seemed like a deliberate attempt to give everyone on board a migraine. Under the circumstances, it was understandable for your brain's language center to seriously malfunction. The peculiar shriek that could have been interpreted in multiple ways, Michiru leapt out of the small bed she'd been curled up in. Oh, new music and new outfits. That's a nice hoodie, Michiru. I want that. I used to have a white hoodie like that. I want it again.
もう7時だっつの。おはようみちる。っていうか、あんたが最後だよ。
Rock love.
なんか胃のあたりがムカムカする。気持ち悪い。
It's like you were force-fed lots of fried fish.
だから食べ過ぎだって言ったのに、結局ボラまで食べたし。だってサチがじゃんじゃん釣るんだもの。食べなきゃもったいないじゃない。
Eventually, the fish population lessened in that harbor, and the Mihama crew was forced to move elsewhere. But that is for a different time, a different visual novel, even. Wait, what?
調理して保存すればよかったんだから、無理にいっぺんに食べなくてもよかったのに。
Can you preserve it?
白いご飯炊いてお味噌汁作ったけど、朝ご飯食べられる？無理かも。っていうか具はボラでしょ。もう当分ボラは顔も見たくない感じ。
At least until lunchtime.
今朝さっちゃんの自転車借りて市場まで買い出しに行ったから、具はキャベツだよ。
Oh, cabbage. Cabbage good.
キャベツ？大きめに切ったキャベツをちぎったベーコンと一緒にお鍋で炒めるじゃない？
Guys, take notes. This is how you do cabbage.
軽くさっと炒めたら、沸騰したお出汁を入れて、キャベツが柔らかくなるまで煮る。あとは合わせ味噌を溶かして、もう一煮立ちさせながら溶き卵をぐるぐるして入れれば完成。
That sounds pretty good.
なんか美味しそう。
I could probably recreate that now that Amana's explained it to me. I actually have miso and I have the dashi, I have the miso stock, so I can probably make my own miso broth, cook the cabbage and stuff.
ポイントは煮る前に炒めること。一度炒めるとキャベツの青臭さが消えるし、ベーコンと炒めるとコクが出るでしょ。
They had you at bacon? Well.
お鍋で炒めてるところへお出汁を入れるから、水溶性のビタミン U も逃がさない。
Ooh, awesome.
あんた昨日揚げ物食べ過ぎてたし、 胃のムカつきに効くかと思って。
I'm gonna do.
それって効果あるの？さあ。
Maybe.
さあって。でもほら、とんかつの付け合わせって必ず千切りキャベツじゃん？いつ胸焼けにはキャベツってお母さんに教わったし、効くんじゃない？
By the way, little known fact, did you know that cabbage makes an excellent bed to catch like the fats and stuff of like fried meats, or like breaded and fried meats? That's why like eating cabbage before you have like a fried meat dish like pork cutlets or tonkatsu is really good because it makes it so it sits better in your stomach. I don't know why, but it just works. It works.
じゃあ食べてみる。
I'm not sure if it works the opposite way though.
白いご飯はいる。っていうかおかずは？お味噌汁かおかずだよ。朝から野菜をたっぷり食べましょう。待ってて、今温め直してあげる。
Can someone comment on the fact that Michiru's eyes?
なんかさ、ハモネって本当お母さんだよね。ご飯作ってくれる人はみんなお母さん？まあ私がいれば少なくとも飢えなくて済むって程度だよ。それに比べてこの私の役立たず感たらどうなのよ。なんか私何の役にも立ってない。
Oh my god, Michiru, so please don't close your eyes.
あ、なんで笑うの？いやごめん。でもさ、真面目な話、やっぱあんたいないと寂しいし、そういうのあんま気にしないでいいんじゃない？
Translation: You're a comic relief right now, Michiru. Don't worry about it.
これだけ女の子がいれば、そういう子も一人は絶対必要なのよ。そういうもの？そういうものよ。はい、ほかほかの白いご飯とお味噌汁。
By the way, Amane still has not learned how to put on her clothing, as you can see from the drooping sleeve on her right shoulder. By the way, if you can't tell which one is her right shoulder since she's facing us, her right side is to your left. If you can't tell the difference between left and right, you shouldn't be here in this live stream. I'm sorry. I think this is of a certain age group, and hopefully that's at the age where you can tell the difference between left and right. I love it. I just, you know what, Michiru is a mood maker because of that, and you know what, people like that would be a thrill to have in real life. Just saying, man, Michiru's a great character. Like, I would love to have, like, and Michiru's dumbassery, like, is very strictly, in many cases, like, a deficiency in academics. So, yeah, you know, at the same time, that means that, on, like, a more emotional level, she's halfway there, and that's a lot better than, like, most people.
ありがとう。いただきます。
And she does try to match, she does, you know, and to Michiru's benefit, she does try to match well with people that she hangs out with. After gorging herself on fish the previous night, she spent some time lying awake in bed, fighting the urge to vomit. With the steaming bowls of white rice and miso soup sitting in front of her, stomach seemed to forget the trauma it had undergone not long ago. Taking the larger bowl in her hand, she brought it to her nose and inhaled the rich scent of miso. When she carefully picked out a bit of cabbage out of it with her chopsticks, she could feel her mouth watering. For pushing the hot cabbage to her mouth, she put the bowl to her lips and sipped at the broth. And as its comforting flavor filled her body with warmth, she found herself reaching for the rice.
日本人に生まれて本当によかった。できれば私、浜根の子に生まれたかった。
大
げさだな。
Actually, realistically, if Michiru had that sort of doting family that like really spent a lot of time with her and didn't like ridicule her for being her, someone like Amane, in fact, like someone like the people that she's hanging out with now, she wouldn't have gone through the mental traumas that she did. It's very true.
他の子たちはもう朝ごはん済んでるの？ だからあんたが最後だってば。さっちゃんは5時には起き出して船の掃除をしてたし、6時にはマキナも起きてランニングに出かけたし。
Oh, that's right. Machina actually works out. MILF, I'm gonna confirm.
私は4時半に起きて朝の市場に出かけたから。
なんでそんなみんな早起きなの？由美子は？
榊さんはほとんど寝なかったみたい。一晩中パソコンいじってたみたいよ。
Sakaki pulled an all-nighter, guys.
そう、グースか寝てたのって私だけ？
みんな慣れない環境で緊張してるんだよ。3日もすれば慣れて、雷が落ちても目を覚まさないようになるよ。
oh, well, probably.
おーい、あまねー、オスタップが出てきたのよ。
Oh, stop?
オスタップ？
ああ、洗濯桶のことね。ほら、この船洗濯機ないし、丘を離れちゃったら銭湯横のコインランドリーも使えないし。
Oh, okay, a wash tub. Like,
どうしようかなって思ってたけど、オケがあればなんとかなるか。
オケと一緒に洗濯板も見つけたのよさ。つうかこの船、私たちが買う前に絶対誰か住んでたでしょう。船底の倉庫に大概のものは揃ってるのよ。
wonder what happened to the owner.
お？つうかチルチル、やっと起きたの？
悪かったわね。
別に悪かねえのよ。面白かったし。
あ？面白いって？何が？
チルチル、鼻ちょうちん出して寝てた。漫画以外でリアルに鼻ちょうちん出してるやつなんて初めて見たのよさ。
You know, they said funny paper instead of manga? What?
いや、ウゾじゃねえのよ。なんかサッチンがブークスクスって笑いながら写真撮ってたから、後で見してもらえば？
The incriminating photos.
写真撮ってんのよ。っていうか笑ってないで起こしなさいよ。
起こしたのよ。なんかチルチル、もう食べられないわよとかベタすぎる寝言言い出して、軽くイラッとしたサッチンがグーで殴ったのに全然起きなかったじゃんかさ。
Wow, Sachi, please don't punch people.
寝てる私に何してくれてんのよ。
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. When I was a kid, my little sister used to punch me as well when I slept. But the reason was because I snored a lot as a kid, and we used to have like, when we were growing up, we only turned on the living room AC unit. And it was really funny because, so basically my entire family during the summer, we slept in the living room together. Or at the very least, me and my sister did, when my parents were like, oh yeah, we don't need the AC to sleep. Their prerogative, not mine. You know, so like, I used to always fall asleep before my little sis, and I used to snore really loudly, she said, which I can 100% believe is true, because there's definitely been times where I snored so loudly, especially when I'm not having a restful sleep. I snore so loudly I wake myself up because I can hear it too. So I know I snore very loudly. But so like she said that if she punched me while I was snoring, I would stop snoring for like a good 10 minutes out of nowhere. So she just punched me and then I'd stop snoring and then she'd fall asleep. Being children is fun, guys.
まあ修学旅行とかでも最初に寝たことを最後まで寝てる子はいじられるのが運命だしね。
Oh, another note, by the way. I used to be one of the kids who woke up super early, and I used to also be the one that even if I went to sleep, no one messed with. And the reason why that happened was because realistically, I always told people I have a rule of thumb: don't bother me when I'm trying to sleep. I need my sleep absolutely when I have to get it. And people took that to heart because people took that to heart to mean that if they bothered me or messed with me while I was sleeping, I'd probably kill them or something. And I mean, I wouldn't say I would go that far for friends, especially with friends involved. But I will say that there are lines you don't cross with me. And trust me, the person who can go to sleep later than everyone else and still wake up earlier than anyone else is not the person you want to mess with. It's just what I'm saying. Just saying.
って何よ。
とりあえずご飯食べ終わったんなら顔洗ってきたら。
じゃあ私は洗濯でもしようかな。せっかく洗濯機出てきたんだし。
Did you guys do all your laundry before you left?
いいわよ。洗濯は私がやるから。
え？でも。
いいのよ。最後まで寝てたら役立たずだと思われてもあれだし。それぐらいこの私に任せなさいって。
Oh, trust me, if you blare music while I'm sleeping, that's fine. I don't wake up to music. I love music when I sleep.
何よ。さっきから人の顔見て笑うとこ失礼じゃない。
なんでもねえのよ。とにかく私やぼよ思い出したから失礼するのよさ。
You really can't take Michiru seriously with that joke face.
まあすぐにわかるわよ。
何が？
とにかく顔洗って歯を磨いてきなさいって。ああそうだ、綺麗な真水は少ないから大事に使って。洗濯するなら川のお水をろ過して使って、飲用水は使わないでね。
わかった。
They've been living under the same roof for some time, of course. Conditions in the houseboat weren't exactly comparable to those in the dorm. Consider this. When you wake up in the morning, the very first thing you see is a snoring doofus just begging to be messed with. Under such circumstances, can any red-blooded young lady resist the urge to entertain herself? Surely not. But of course, when the doofus in question looks in the mirror and discovers what's been done to her, it's hard to know how understanding she might be. Houseboat. I like how it's now labeled houseboat. Changing your place of residence doesn't mean your old habits are going to simply disappear. Case in point, one of the girls had already gone out to see if any nearby convenience store sold a type of fried chicken she'd grown addicted to. Another was cleaning the area around their boat with a broom, although nobody had asked her to do so. Their thought patterns, too, were largely the same as before. Some were excessively cautious, some were overly aggressive, and others were as unpredictable as ever. But if they had one thing in common, it was this. They were all rather worried by nature. These 5 young women had experienced a great deal of betrayal, cruelty, and pain. Trusting strangers didn't come naturally to them. All the more so when the stranger in question was someone they never even met face to face. But sometimes, exceptions had to be made, as they were learning now. There was a possibility they were being deceived, and if that was the case, they needed to have a plan that could turn that betrayal to their advantage. President Sakaki Yumiko's job was to plan for the worst.
おはようございます。Thanatos です。
Good morning. Just as promised, a black cell phone had rung at precisely 8:45 a.m. There was no number on the screen to indicate who the call was from. It was rather frustrating that their sole means of communication was so one-sided. Without a viable backup plan, they weren't exactly in position to complain.
それでテストといっても私たちは何をすればいいの？
皆さん、サイモン曰くってゲームをご存知？
Simon says...
なんか聞いたことあるかも。それってアメリカの子供が幼稚園で先生とやる遊びだよね。
Hell yeah.
そう、それ。知っているのならちょうどいいわ、松島みちるさん。サイモンは言いました。この携帯を持って指定時間内に指定の座標へ向かいなさい。
まあいいわ。その遊びに付き合ってあげようじゃない。テストはいつ始めるの？
もう始まってるわよ。急いだ方がいいんじゃない？じゃあ、頑張って。
Ignoring Michiru's startled plea, Thanatos abruptly cut off the phone. Before anyone had time to complain, the phone automatically started up a GPS-based compass application. The screen was now displaying their current latitude and longitude, the coordinates of their destination, and a triangular arrow pointing the way. Oh! Music! Music! Woo! Along with a countdown indicating the amount of time they had remaining.
どういうこと？
とにかくこの矢印が示す方向に向かえってことじゃないでしょうか。
直線距離で約 2000 メートル。残り時間は18分32秒。走らないと間に合わないのよ。
どうしよう。直線距離で2キロということは、道に沿って走る実速では3キロを超えるわね。多分松島さんの足じゃ間に合わないっていうか、絶対に間に合わないんじゃないかしら。
To skip this in anime, it's the funniest part. Well, you don't have to spoil it for me. We're about to experience.
大変、マキちゃん追いかけないと。
ちょっと待って。
迷ってる時間ないよ。私も行く。
だからちょっと待ってってば。
リレーだよリレー。いざとなったら電話だけでも指定の座標に到着してればいいんでしょ。
確かにそうだけど、ね。
Developing better communication skills had never been a priority for Sakaki Yumiko. Now her clumsiness in that department was proving to be a significant problem, especially at times like this where every second counted. Running to the goal just wasn't going to work, but Matsumi and Michiru had rushed out of the boat anyway. When placed under pressure, she tended to be simple-minded and impulsive. Once Michiru ran off in a panic, Makina and Sachi had reflexively followed her, failing to assess the situation. Compensating for the lack of individual ability by splitting up the task wasn't a bad idea. But Amina had left without really thinking it through. That was rashness, plain and simple.
そして私も早速識能力不足が露呈してしまったわね。
All she needed to do was remind Michiru that they had a perfectly good bicycle, but those simple words hadn't made it out of her mouth. And she'd been too flustered to point out that a relay approach wasn't going to work given that everyone would be running from the same starting point. But belatedly, she considered trying to contact them to explain all this. Her personal cell phone was currently missing its battery and SIM card, so there wasn't much to be done. In the chaos of war, platoons sometimes went into battle without realizing that they grabbed a defective radio for their unit. Perhaps this was how it felt to be an officer shouting uselessly into the transceiver, unable to warn his men that they were charging into a trap. The analogy sent a chill down her spine. In an actual combat situation, mistakes like these would have grave consequences.
などと無軌道につらつらと考えているぐらいなら、私自らが自転車に乗って追いかけるべきよね。
It sounded logical enough, but she needed to think it through first. Come to think of it, when exactly was the last time she actually ridden a bicycle? Thinking back, she had the distinct sense that it had been in the garden of her family's home. She was 6 years old. Her kiddie bike didn't have any training wheels. She might be able to ride one in a pinch. It was hard to say that she felt especially confident though. There was a very real possibility that she'd end up crashing and injuring herself. Imitating Kazumi Yuji's surprisingly handy verbal tick, Yuko looked around her. Gaze soon settled on the boat's coffee maker. Small burbled, the last bit of brown liquid had just dripped down into the pot.
よし、あれを飲みながら待とう。
She had to admit it was a sorry excuse for his decision. It wasn't like they were going to lose their lives if they failed Thanatos' test. It was often preferable to be somewhat underestimated.
砂糖とミルクはどこなのかしら。
As Yumiko took a mug and poked her head into the fridge, having skillfully convinced herself that her idleness was justified, Michiru, who shot out of the boat like a human bullet only minutes before, was already reaching the limits of her endurance.
脇腹が急に走ったから脇腹が
I mean, 2 kilometers is how much distance? Just to give you an estimate, I think that's like about, I want to say 3,500 feet, right? Where? In miles. Oh no, it's more than a mile. So in feet. Okay, it's 6,500 feet. It's like 66 actually, closer to 6,600. So it's like 1.25 miles. So 1.25 miles in 8 minutes is actually not that bad, but I'm assuming that's a from A to B point, like a direct line. So you have to compensate like roads and stuff. It's probably closer to being like a 2-mile trip in 18 minutes. So in theory, you're gonna either be walking or running a 9-minute mile twice over. And so if you can't do that, you're not gonna reach your destination in time. That's cool, just so you know. She's been known to refer to herself as Michiru-sama, the Supreme Sprinter. Everyone else tended to prefer Matsushima, the hare. The girl definitely had raw power. She was good at most forms of anaerobic exercise. Nobody at Mihama could beat her on the short distance dashes. That said, she could only sprint for about around 400 meters at a time. Whenever the distance was greater than that, Michiru would rapidly run out of gas and eventually end up completely immobile. Today proved no exception. Although she set off at a vigorous pace, Michiru was soon breathing heavily, and by the time she reached the 1 kilometer mark, so it's actually closer to around, I think, like a 2. Assuming that it's not a routed 2 kilometer route, we're gonna say it's like 2.5 kilometers. I would say, about, to be a little bit more precise. Maybe even more. Maybe like a 2.8 kilometers. It'll be like closer to 2 miles. I can't do the conversions as well from kilometers to miles and vice versa. I just know that 1 mile and 1 kilometer are not comparable because 1 kilometer is shorter. So I always find it easier to jog a kilometer than it is to jog a mile. So it doesn't help, unfortunately. I'm unfortunately very useless in this. I should be a little bit more known for it. But it's because I never make the comparison. Like, when I'm thinking in meters and kilometers, I'm thinking meters and kilometers. And when I'm thinking in miles, I'm thinking in miles. It's just like they don't cross over. Magina.
おい、誰がバギナじゃ。埋めるぞてめえ。早いよマキちゃん。おいサチ、シャベル持ってこい。こいつ首だけ出して埋めるぞ。マキちゃん、時間ないよ。後にしようよ。
Sachi is also not well suited for like long periods of like extreme exercise. It looks like Sachi is very good like in like doing things around her. I think not necessarily like, going for a really long run or jog. Makina would probably be very suited for it, but I think they're also trying to catch up with Michiru, who they said was one of the fastest sprinters that they have. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Yeah, can we talk about the fact that this is a beautiful image? It's all blurry and stuff too.
チルチル、死んじゃうの。
死なーいいから早くこれ持って。
I like how they play the rainbows, like rainbows, and like little chimes.
ちょっとあんたたちこんなとこで何やって。
なんかチルチルが形容しがたい惨状に。
あら入っちゃったか。急に走るからだよ。っていうかあんた内臓弱いな。
I think you're a little too strong in the stomach department, okay? For a lot of reasons.
ミチル様は消化器官が弱くて食べ物を上手に消化できないからいくら食べても太らないんですね。
Oh, okay.
インナーマッスルが貧弱で側筋ばっかりだから持久力がないのよ。 丸いのも基礎代謝が低いせいだろこれ。
それはね、顔関係ないでしょ。
I mean, it is accurate.
ってみちる観察してる場合じゃないでしょ。急がないと時間ないよ。とりあえず携帯を指定座標に持っていかないと。多分一番足が速いのってマキちゃんだから、マキちゃんお願い。
うっしゃ任しとけ。ぬりゃ
It'd be funny it'd be really funny if she forgot the phone.
私もみちる様を埋めたら後から追いかけるから。
埋めないで。
ラムラ、私ももう限界。ペース落としていい？
Like the anchor of a relay race, Machina snatched a cell phone from Michiru's grasp and set off in the direction of the arrow indicated. Under Kazumi Yuji's direction, she regularly run laps around the circumference of Mihama Academy, distance of about 3 kilometers. She knew how to approach the task at hand. Instead of rushing forward, she set a regular pace and conserved her stamina. For too long, she reached a park that was her destination, and was just catching her breath, the phone in her hand began to ring.
急になるなよ。びっくりすんだろが。
こんにちは、タナトスです。
おっす、オラマキナ。
Us!
絶対見てくれよな。
ノリいいなあ、タナトスさん。なんかちょっとあんたのこと好きかも。
お遊びはもういい？何はともあれ間に合ったようね。おめでとう。松島みちるはどうしたの？
チルチルは途中でぶっ倒れてヘドまき散らしてるのよ。サッチンはもうすぐ追いつくと思うけど、アンマネーはパイオツでかくて走るの苦手だからどっかで座り込んでっかも。
榊由美子は来なかったのね。
ああ、あれな。ユミちゃんは走るの大嫌いなお座敷犬みたいな女だからな。仕方がねえのよ。
Machina, accurate assessment.
そう。じゃあ時間もないし、次の問題ね。
マジでか。
サイモンが言いました。現在時刻は7時17分。止まった時の鐘の下。
Around 717 beneath the bell where time has stopped.
なんつった？座標は？
ヒントはそれだけ。急がないと次の制限時間まで残り20分を切ってるわよ。頑張って。
Tiggle Bitties? Yeah, except Tiggle Bitties is fake! Amina is the real deal.
なんなのよさそれ。
The present hour, 7:17, was that AM or PM? Checking the time on the digital pet dangling from her waist, she found that it was currently 9:12 AM.
どっち？なん何かのトンチか。つかんなもんわかるかボケー。
First she had been forced to run like a maniac, now she'd been handed some ridiculous riddle. It was tempting to hurl the phone in her hand down to the ground. Then again, right now every moment she took was probably being observed by their smug new friend as part of the evaluation process. It was frustrating to be sure, but at the end of the day, agents like her were always just pawns in someone else's game. With a small sigh, she let her anger dissipate.
もうオーダーはシンプルにって習わなかったのかよ。現場の工作員に余計なこと考えさせるとろくなことにならないのよ。
The current time was 9:13 a.m. The more anxious people grow, the more frequently they check the time. According to Kazumi Yuji, Machina's teacher, nobody's as useless as the guy who spends half his shift looking down at the clock. She understood that getting flustered wasn't going to get her anywhere, but even so, she couldn't help glancing down at her watch repeatedly.
お待たせ。どう？間に合った？
See, Sachi's like that in between. Like she's a specialist. Like she's probably like a specialist in in skills and techniques and stuff. But when it comes to being a master or an expert at them, she's not quite there. So yeah, Like, whereas someone like Makino who's been training to run like 3-kilometer laps around the school is definitely well versed in doing a long distance run.
それどこじゃねえのよ、サッチン。何かあったの？ありのまま今起こったことを話すのよ。
She made it on time, yes, and received new directions, but unfortunately, they were all but incomprehensible. As Makina carefully repeated Thanatos' riddle word for word, Sachi tilted her head quizzically and blinked in confusion.
どういう意味？
Sachi's like the logical type, or to the word type. I'm not sure if she would get it as a riddle.
それがわかんねえから無駄に苛立ってんのよ。
But maybe she'll figure it out.
何かのクイズとか？
Right, if you get Sachi to order to solve it, she probably will.
問題にすらなってねえのに。
This is the Amazing Race Grisaia edition. Right now, Thanatos' directions were their marching orders. The orders generally need to have some kind of verb, and she only given them a vaguely descriptive hint. The when, where, who, what, and how had all been omitted entirely. They had no real specifics to work from.
いつに関しては時間制限もあるし、残りはあと17分。どこでは指定された座標があるんだし、ここでってことだよね。誰がは携帯を持っている人間が？でもタナトスさんはミチル様に指令を出したんじゃ。ミチル様だけに意味がわかるキーワードが含まれてるとか？
Yes, I already know Nekaparu's getting a complete anime series.
チルチルに電話して聞いてみっか。
Except you can't.
電話って言っても私たちの携帯は SIM カードとバッテリーを抜いたままだから使えないよ。そっか。タナトスさんにもらった電話が使えてもかける相手の携帯が使えなきゃ意味ないか。
Plus, knowing Makina, she probably actually has everyone's numbers memorized, right?
それにタナトスさんが言ってたでしょ。うかつに携帯電話は使っちゃダメだって。敵地にて通信途絶。自己判断能力が試されているというわけか。せめてユミちゃんと相談できれば。あいつこういう頭使うの得意なのに。
It'd be funny if Yumiko's like, "What did you say about me?" and she just rides in on a bicycle. As they looked around the area, trying to devise some sort of solution, a nearby object caught Sachi's eye.
公衆電話。マキちゃん、公衆電話があるよ。いや、だからさ、チルチルもユミちゃんも携帯は使えないんだから。他の人は？例えば学園長とかハルデラさんとか。いきなり意味不明な電話をするのもあれだけど、何かヒントをもらえれば。
Do you have their numbers memorized? Retrieving her wallet from the pocket of her maid uniform, Sachi fished out a few coins. Just as she reached out for the payphone, it abruptly began to ring. Much like Professor Pavlov, who developed the unfortunate habit of feeding his dog every time he heard the sound of a bell, she couldn't help but pick up the phone and answer.
もしもし？
人に頼るのは反則よ。自分たちの努力でどうにかなさい。
Wrecked!
タナトスさんからこちらの行動が読まれているか、どこかから監視されているのかな。どうしよう、マキちゃん。怒られちゃったよ。
Also, just, you know, sometimes, like, the more high-tech payphones have their own cameras, too, so. As of this moment, it was entirely possible that Thanatos had already made a note of Sachi's inability to think for herself, and Makina's tendency to freeze up under pressure. From Thanatos' perspective, whether they successfully completed this problem probably wasn't that crucial. More than anything else, she was testing how they approached it. It was a bit like one of those exams where you get 0 points for a correct answer if you didn't show your work properly. Right now, they had to calm down and really think this through. Makina forced herself to take a long, deep breath.
残り時間は。
Makina reached down to her digital pet once more. Sachi didn't wear a watch, reflexively took out her cell phone, although it wasn't much help without its battery. She had come to rely rather heavily on this little device. Part Apart from functioning as a timepiece, it served as a communication tool, a portable computer, camera, TV, and even a wallet. The downside of this exceptionally handy all-in-one machine, however, was that losing it left her inconvenient in any number of ways. I mean, yeah, like, realistically, it's probably going to be the clock tower, but, you know, I think they're about to figure it out. So come on. You don't have to say that. Was there a clock somewhere in the area, perhaps? She looked around the park. Sachi happened to glance up, and after a moment, her eyes went wide.
Maki-chan, are?
Makina looked over. She found Sachi pointing towards an old church that stood adjacent to the park facilities. There was an old clock on the building's tower, just below its sizable bell. Its hands were frozen in place, displaying a time of 7:17. 7:17.
現在時刻7時17分。止まった時の鐘の下？きっとあれのことなのよさ。つうかそのまんまじゃん。なんで気づかなかったんだろう。
Because you have to take a deep breath and look at your surroundings, duh.
多分冷静に周囲を観察できているか試されたんだろうね。
Exactly.
とにかく行ってみるのよさ。
The door to the house of God is never locked to anyone, even sheep who strayed from the flock. It had probably been decades since this building last served as a house of worship, judging from the chaotic jumble they found within. Naturally, there was no power. Flipping the light switch accomplished nothing. The light that filtered in between the boards on the windows, the inner walls were faintly visible. They were covered in spray-painted graffiti that was difficult to decipher. It seemed clear that this place had come to serve as something of a hideout for a group of rebellious younger people.
どっかに上に出られる階段とかない？
マキちゃん、こっちに階段があるよ。多分これで屋根裏に上がってそこから屋根に出て時計塔に登るんじゃないかな。
階段っていうかはしごじゃね？
私が先に登るからマキちゃんは後からついてきて。
サッチ、ライト持ってる？
小さいのしかないけど大丈夫。
After carefully climbing the steep, creaky staircase, they did indeed emerge into an attic of sorts. Moving her small circle of light around the room, Sachi found that it was full of empty beer cans and cigarette butts. The liquids had evidently invaded the space as well. The push door leading up to the roof had been left half open, presumably to keep the room ventilated for the smokers. By climbing up through that, she would most likely gain access to the clock tower.
屋根に出たよ。時計塔の釣り鐘の下だっけ。
おーい、サッチー、なんか見つけた。
黒い箱がある。汚れてないしまだ新しいから最近置かれたものだと思う。
どんな箱？開けてみようぜ。
Let's open it up!
待って。なんかね、すごーく嫌な予感がする。
なんだよそれ。私も今そっち行くのよ。
待って、来ないで。箱の上に手紙みたいなものがテープで貼られてるから、とりあえずそれを読んでみるよ。
Generally speaking, a bad feeling is actually the result of your unconscious mind reacting to a number of subtly negative phenomena. For many people, they're triggered by silly superstitions. A shoelace breaking as you leave the house, or a black cat crossing your path. I never had a shoelace break as I left the house. But once you experience a certain amount of danger, your ability to sense that something genuinely awry grows far more reliable. The expression of someone watching a malevolent feline slinking past, Sachi slowly approached the box, retrieved the envelope taped to its lid, and opened it. Dismantle this bomb within the time you've been allotted.
嘘。
Wow. Its contents were unfortunately exactly what she feared. For a moment, the world seemed to lurch around her. Gravity was pulling her in every direction at once. On the lid of the box below the letter she just removed was a countdown displaying the remaining time in segmented numbers. They had 7 minutes and 16 seconds left.
やるしかないか。
Furrowing her brow and biting down on her lip, Sachi drew a quick, sharp breath through her nose, then turned the pockets of her skirt inside out. Sometimes said that a woman's skirt pockets are full of mysteries. But these particular pockets were stuffed with what Makina called Sachin's secret tools. It made something of a racket as they clattered to the ground.
サッチー、おーいサッチー、どうしたのよさ。なんかあったの？
Yo, calm your excitement, okay?
大変マキちゃん。 爆弾見つけちゃったよ。これを解除するのが今回の課題みたい。
マジでか。どうすんのよさ。
時間も自信もあんまりないけど、やってみる。マキちゃんは逃げて。
アホな子一女子。なんか手伝えることね
じゃあ教会の中に戻ってカーテンの暗幕を持ってきて。
えの。了解したのよ。
With a dramatic flourish of her skirt, Sachi lowered herself to the ground. Her eyes were fixed on the small black case before her. There were a total of 6 screws holding the upper plate into place. All of them could be removed with the ordinary No. 2 Phillips screwdriver. But when she looked more closely, she realized that one of them was sticking up slightly out of its hole. This was a very common trap. The one loose screw was almost certainly reverse threaded. Turning it to the left would tighten it, bringing it into contact with a switch that would set off the bomb. Given the presence of this mechanism, it was safest to assume that the other 5 screws were also potentially dangerous. For the time being, she decided to stick the blade of her flat screwdriver under the lid right beneath the loose screw. Prying it open slightly should allow her a peek inside. But after a moment, she stopped and blinked in surprise. The gap between the box and its lid was sealed tightly with black silicone.
つまり光センサー式の起爆装置か。
It's the wedding all over again. A little bit different. I think this is a version of Sachi who differs from a version of differs from the after Sachi, as is Machina.
もしくはガスが封入されていて、蓋を開けて箱の中に光が入ったり、ガスが抜けて気圧が変わると爆発する仕掛けかな。
In the latter scenario, there wasn't much she could possibly do. Gas-based mechanism, you couldn't even cut a tiny hole in the box and slip in a microfibroscope to see what was inside. There were only 2 real ways to dispose of a bomb like that. Either you worked in an airtight chamber where you could slowly equalize the atmospheric pressure inside and outside the box, or you gave up and detonated it remotely.
バルーンを使って気圧操作しようにも、そんなもの持ち歩いてないし、持っていたところで箱の中の気圧を調べるための密閉ドリルがない。
Sachi did have a toolbox containing specialist equipment of that sort, but given its extreme weight, she opted to leave it behind in her locker at the Mihama dormitory.
おーい、サッチン。暗幕持ってきたのよ。
ありがとう。取りに行くからそこに置いておいて。
サッチンどうよ。やれそうなの。
わかんない。やれるだけやってみるけど、やっぱりマキちゃんは逃げて。
うんにゃ、どこにも行かね。
I mean, granted, if the phones get destroyed, guys, it's all over for Yuji anyway.
私はノーメックスのメイド服着てるから多少の爆発なら耐えられるけど、マキちゃんはね、お願い避難して。
What? Her maid uniform's made out of what?
死ぬなよ。約束できる？
大丈夫、約束するよ。
約束破ったら地獄まで追いかけてパンツむしり取って泣かしてやるのよ。わかった？
Just like how best friends would do. Wait, what?
大丈夫、信じて。
じゃあ頑張れ。
Machina clearly wasn't happy to go. If anything, the look on her face suggested severe reluctance. After a moment's hesitation, she placed the curtain on the floor and scampered back down into the church.
信じてとは言ったものの、これはどうしたものか。
Before anything else, she draped the thick curtain Machina brought her over the box. From this point forward, she'd be relying mainly on her sense of touch. Given that a letter had been taped to the box, it was reasonable to conclude that there weren't any electrostatic sensors on its surface. Simply touching it wouldn't set off the bomb.
残り時間は5分弱。箱の大きさから考えれば200メートルも離れれば十分だと思うし、残り時間が3分を切った時点で手に負えないと思ったら、諦めて全力で逃げよう。
So in 2 minutes, she has to see if she could actually disarm it or not. Slipping her hands underneath the curtain, she began to reach out to tap gently on the lid of the box. As a general rule, vibration sensors are oriented downward because of the Earth's gravity, making them slightly less sensitive to vertical impacts. Repeatedly tapping the lid with her fingers, she looked for a place where the sound seemed hollow. Selected one of them as the point where she drilled her hole. Once this was done, she cut herself a bit of tape about 5 centimeters in length, temporarily placing it next to the spot where she'd be drilling. Gas began to escape through her hole. She used this to cover it up before the air pressure inside the box changed too drastically.
できれば液体窒素で処理してからが良かったんだけど。
She learned a little bit about bomb disarmament, right? She didn't have any on hand, and these days some bombs had backup sensors that would react to sudden drops in the temperature. Pushing these thoughts from her mind, Sachi brought her drill to the box lid, positioned it carefully, and began to turn the handle. She worked slowly, carefully, and as quietly as possible. Gas began to escape from the hole. She'd have to move quickly to apply the tape before the bomb exploded. Small leaks shouldn't be fatal. Volume of the gas inside would naturally change as the temperature outside fluctuated, so her hair trigger sensor wouldn't be practical. Soon enough, she completed a tiny hole in the aluminum case, less than 0.1 millimeter in diameter. There was no sign of anything escaping through it. Apparently, she didn't have a gas trap on her hands. She exhaled in relief, thought she could feel sweat pushing her way out of her pores. She wasn't out of the woods yet. Could still be equipped with geomagnetic, vibration, thermal, or light sensors. Geomagnetic and vibration sensors could easily set a bomb off prematurely. They were present at all. Settings would probably be rather lax. As long as she didn't pick the box up or start kicking it around, shouldn't be a problem. But you just like punt the freaking bomb, like, get out of here! Also, the box was black, meaning it absorbed and released heat quickly. And in the course of drilling into it, she confirmed that it wasn't insulated. She could probably assume that it wasn't equipped with a thermal sensor that could react to the heat of a human body.
ということは、残った問題は光感知。
Like the other types of sensors, overly sensitive photodetectors could be risky and require you to take great care when transporting your bomb. Usually give yourself a margin for error. In other words, brief exposure to relatively dim lights probably wouldn't trigger a reaction.
爆弾解除にはずとかだろうはない。
That said, how would she have done things if she'd been the one planning this device?
私ならそうする。
Nodding to herself, Sachi shined her flashlight through the small hole she drilled in the lid of the box. Response something within began to beep with faint but unmistakable warning. She lowered the intensity of her light. The tone of the sound shifted as well.
これは当たりだね。まず間違いなく光感知センサーが仕組まれてる。
There you go. Just in case, she tried using infrared light as well, but a different sensor reacted audibly.
つまり暗視装置は使えないってことか。
There were 3 minutes left. She was going to run, it had to be now.
手探りでどこまでやれるかわからないけど。
Comments so far already that backing down was no longer an option. Leaving the curtain draped over the box, she set about removing the screws from its lid, guided only by her sense of touch. The screws in question were commonplace pan heads. Judging by the small punch marks she could feel on their heads, they were made to the international standard. Carefully bringing her screwdriver to bear, she began to remove the screws that turned to the left. Those that didn't turn left, she turned right instead. One of them refused to budge either way. It was a dummy. She ground down its head with her drill, and snipped it with her wire cutter once it was sufficiently weakened. She used the same approach on the booby-trap screws she noticed earlier on. Removing the lid would only have taken a few seconds if all the screws had been normal. The drilling ended up costing her quite a bit of time. Oof. Bomb disarmament. After pausing briefly to catch her breath, Sachi pushed her flat screwdriver under the box lid and slowly pried it loose. Air pressure was sufficient to tear the silicone seal holding it in place. Long last, she had access to the inside. Tracing her fingertips along the various components, Sachi began to map out the structure of the bomb. She had to identify all the sensors by feel, and then cut them away one by one.
これがバッテリーかな。静電源と副電源に予備電源。タイマー用のリチウム電池を入れると4電源。
And it's like basically keep talking, and nobody explodes. The visual novel now.
バッテリーから切り離しても起爆回路が一旦オンになるとゲート信号をオフにしてもサイリスタはオンのままになる。発信した電圧はコンデンサに結合されて、サイリスタがオンになるとコンデンサ以降の電圧はほぼ0ボルトになるから、どこから切れば。
In theory, every bomb is quote-unquote disarmable if you design it to be disarmable. So, Sachi's assessment is pretty accurate in the sense that if it's meant to be disarmed, the bomb is going to be disarmed. And you just have to figure out how. Based on what she felt, Sachi tried to piece together a mental image of the circuit, or the wiring that led from the battery to the primer, including a number of dummies, but with no time to take notes, it wasn't easy. Everything was getting jumbled up in her head.
こんな時風見さんがいてくれたらやっぱ無理でしたって丸投げしちゃうんだけどな。
Cutting away all the sensors that connected to the explosive device itself wouldn't take too long. When she severed the wire harness connected to the main battery, the sub-power system would sense the drop in voltage, activate and set off the bomb. Before cutting off the main power source, she needed to use an alligator clip as a jumper to create a bypass, and hook up the battery of her own using a volume dial and crystal oscillator to control the frequency of the current, thereby establishing a temporary circuit that would prevent the system from realizing the main battery had been disconnected. Once this was accomplished, she could safely cut the main wire harness. Even if the sub-power system's reverse circuit activated, the electricity wouldn't reach the detonator. However, with no oscilloscope available to her, she had to control the volume of the signal based solely on her instincts.
電源の規格が決まっている以上はある程度は予想がつくけど、これはもう賭けだね。
I'm surprised you're mocking. Well, that's probably because Maki didn't get to see the bomb really well, other than it's a sealed box, you know? Closing her eyes, Sachi took a deep breath and brought her wire cutter to the thin 0.5mm harness leading to the main battery.
大丈夫。間違ってない。
With a small snip, she cut through the wire. It hadn't exploded. That was a good thing, of course, but right now she was simply deceiving the bomb into believing that its main power source was still active, with the help of a single 9-volt battery. Unless she used this time to deal with the detonators, the secondary power sources would activate as soon as the timer hit 0. The bomb would go off. The actual primer was an electrical type, embedded in the explosive material itself. Her only option was to drag out the wires hidden in the bottom of the box, bypass the detonator using resistors, and then cut them off one by one. Taking her drill, Sachi quickly made a new hole in the side of the box and used a pick she made from the spoke of a bicycle wheel to pull out the detonator wires. In total, there were 15 different harnesses connected to the transistor circuit and the capacitor. That included positive, negative, and disconnection detection wires, so it was impossible to tell them apart simply by touching them. After pulling the wires through the new hole, she studied them under her flashlight, and then connected them to dummy load resistors of various values, isolating the detonators so that she could sever them. The resistors serving to hide the surge in voltage that followed every cut, she steadily worked her way through the wiring that led to all 5 detonators.
これで最後。
Once the detonators were silenced, she could theoretically dropkick this bomb across the roof without fear of it exploding. But had she overlooked anything? If she had planted this bomb, she would have implemented a backup mechanism that would activate in this very moment of relief. Slowly, cautiously, she double-checked the wiring, found nothing unexpected. She couldn't feel any extra explosive material on the box's lid or its interior walls either. The classic trick here would be a wire that pulls out the pin of a grenade when you relax and pick up the box. There didn't seem to be anything of that sort either. I mean, realistically, if you disarmed it, you could probably just leave it there and walk away at this point, right? Komi Sachi allowed herself a deep sigh of relief. The countdown timer finally ticked down to 0. Naturally, there was no explosion.
小峰幸やりました。
Did you see that, Kazumi-san? Looking up to the sky, she saw her beloved instructor's face and couldn't help but boast to him.
おーいサッチー、終わったの？もう時間過ぎてっけど爆弾どうなったの？
Just insert Yuji's face in there, guys, okay?
なんとか成功したみたい。っていうかマキちゃん逃げなかったの？
俺がサッチン見捨てて逃げるような女に見えるのか？
わかるけど、もし私が失敗したらどうするつもりだったの？
そん時は一緒に死んでやる。見殺しよりはマシじゃんね。ダッチもねえこん一丁らんで終わったんならちゃっちゃと降りてこうし。
マキちゃん、電話。
タナトスめー。おーこら、私らぬっ殺す気か。
あらびっくり。電話に出たということはまだこの世にいるのかしら。
おめえふざけんなよ。爆弾とかやりすぎじゃねえの？
ちょっとしたドッキリイベントじゃない。そんなに怒らなくても。
マキちゃん、これプラスチック爆弾じゃなくてただの粘土だよ。やられたね。
これはあくまで能力査定試験よ。 本物を使うわけないじゃない。とはいえ、装置自体は本職の人間に作らせたものなのだから、それを解除したことは正直に驚いたし、褒めてもあげましょう。
でも解除できるように作ってあったんですよね。
Yeah, exactly, right?
そうね。解除できる爆弾とそうでない爆弾の見分けがつくかというのも審査の一つだったわけだし、私はあなたの出した結果を高く評価します。
Huh. I guess in that case I might have failed this test because I would assume that if it's a test bomb that given to me to disarm, it would be disarmable. But you could literally just give somebody a bomb that's impossible to disarm and you go, can't do it, and walk away from it. Detonate it remotely.
もう完全にもてあそばれてるのよさ。
箱の中の手紙はもう見つけた？
手紙だ。
これかな。あったよ、マキちゃん。
Just has like a picture of has like a picture of like
よろしい。
Kazuki on it.
ではサイモンが言いました。その手紙を松島みちるに渡しなさい。
What?
まだ続くのかよ。
制限時間はちょっと長めの60分。もう時計は動いているわよ。急いで。
Boom.
なんだこれ。なんかイライラするのよさ。今すぐ何かに八つ当たりしたい。ものすごく。
What?
仕方がないよ。急ごう、マキちゃん。
Test continues the end. It's a actual field test. It's pretty cool. It's frustrating that things weren't going the way she wanted, and it was frustrating to be ordered around by someone who didn't bother to explain things properly. Makino understood this frustration was fundamentally childish, but when no one even bothered trying to coax her, it was hard to accept this kind of treatment. Of course, being a grown-up was all about swallowing your frustration and finding ways to cope with situations you couldn't accept on an emotional level. But in this particular respect, Irisu Makino is still something of a child. Aren't we all? Wait, what? Orders from the people upstairs are always going to be unfair. If they were fair, there wouldn't be any reason to issue them as orders. Might as well quit if you don't like it. No one would stop you. It's just how things are in this line of work. If Kazumi Yuji were here with them, he probably would have told her something along those lines. Clutching the letter they found inside the box, Makino and Sachi set off running down the road they followed to the church. Their eyes were searching for a certain bottle blonde, presumably lying in a heap somewhere in the vicinity. After nearly shouting themselves hoarse, the two girls finally found the individual they were looking for, in a truly piteous state. With the sound effects. The night before, Matsuri Michiru had gluttonously gobbled down great quantities of fried fish. Immediately after a hearty breakfast, she set off running as fast as she could. So it wasn't exactly surprising that she was now lying on her side on the road, steadily spewing out the contents of her stomach. Her eyes were glazed over and unfocused, her body was totally immobile. She resembled nothing so much as a beach sea mammal. Amano was standing a few feet away, gingerly poking at her with a stick.
朝食を全部吐き出してしまって、昨晩のハゼまで吐き出したんですね。
Michiru's dying, guys. Uh-oh.
そんなことより間に合ったの？はい、そしてこれが新しい指令です。この手紙をミチル様に渡せとタナトスさんが。
ほら、チルチル、しっかりするのよ。よし、よし。
With all the tenderness of an interrogator slapping their prisoner awake in the middle of a torture session, Makina pulled Michiru up off the ground and shoved the letter in her face.
ほら、これ見るのよ。
うわ
They now received the third mission of the day. Its nature was quite simple. The envelope contained a single map that seemed to have been printed on a photocopier. Someone had circled a part in it in a red pen and then jotted a note in the margins of the page. Proceed to the designated location within the time you've been allotted.
どこ？
安心してください。ここは地球ですよ、ミチル様。お気を確かに。
いや、そういうことじゃなくてね。
うわ、なんかミチル様臭い。
臭いとか言うな。言われなくても分かってるわよ。吐いちゃったん んだから仕方ないでしょも
Get a
う。
little mouthwash and water, man.
ああ、女の子ってさ、臭いって言われるのは何気に傷つくよね。
そうじゃなくて、この地図の場所はどこなのって。ああ、なぜ伝わらないこの思い。恋愛にも似たもどかしさが私の胸を締め付けてるわよ。
それってただの胸焼けじゃん。つか、なんで今さら地図？また携帯で誘導すればいいじゃんね。
No, the phone will be able to find exactly where you have to go, that's why.
地図がちゃんと読めるかのテストとか？
地図なんて誰でも読めるんじゃん。
それを言ったらラリーにナビはいらないって話になるよね。指定場所は山の中でしょうか。ほぼ一本道ですし迷いようがないのでは。
Retrieving a curve meter from the pocket of her skirt, Sachi began to move it along the winding road on their map.
現在位置から約40キロ前後の距離と思われます。ああ、私この道知ってるわ。
Of course, Haminen knows. Their new destination was over in the next prefecture, separated by a mountain from their current location. It wasn't far from the farm that supplied eggs and chicken to the restaurant Amina's parents ran. For a while, she'd driven out there every morning. At first, those trips had been on the restaurant's motorcycle. Getting her driver's license, she's taking their mini truck instead. Day in and day out, in rain and snow, she sped out there and back, battling the early bird street racers who used it as their personal practice track.
まずいな。ここって電車の駅もなければバスも1時間に1本の山の中だよ。行くとしたら車かバイクしか。
タクシーなら間に合うんじゃん。
残り時間が50分じゃタクシーでも無理じゃないかな。
Yeah, because it's not like taxis are everywhere. Given the time you lose to traffic signals and such, traveling 40 kilometers in 50 minutes wasn't easy. You had to be averaging about 70 kilometers per hour. She could try to head home and borrow a ride from her parents, but given their time limit, it didn't seem too realistic. As Amina racked her brains for a better solution, a rundown store across the street happened to catch her eye. It wasn't a used car dealership, it was a small sign advertising cars for rent.
そうか、借りるって手もあるな。みんなお金いくら持ってる？8200円ですね。
$82.
2800円。
$28.
私は24557円。足りるかな。マキナは
$245.57.
ちょっと待ってね。12万6400円。あとはカードになっちゃうけど、カードは多分凍結されてるのよさ。
$1,264.
まあこれだけあれば十分か。
Generally speaking, you shouldn't expect too much from a rental car. Oh, more music. It's a temporary means of transportation, nothing more. Most places aren't going to bother lending out flashing sports cars or anything. And given the greater cost of insuring more expensive vehicles, you'll naturally pay more for higher performance rides. Also, when you're poking around the sleepy dealership next to the highway that's clearly run by some local landlord's second son as a tax shelter for his dad, there's really no point even hoping for something decent. Hey, remember when Makina just wanted to bake bread? Oh, those are days. Samana looked over the various cars lined up in the lot. It was all she could do to keep from groaning in dismay. Everywhere she turned, she saw ancient hatchbacks and coupes from 20 or 30 years ago. They're mostly beaters in visibly poor condition.
贅沢は言ってられないのは分かってるけどさ。
Shaking her head, she turned the prefab hut that served as a dealership building, tending to ask if there were any functional cars they could drive off in immediately. The lone employee inside, however, appeared to be in the middle of a phone call.
はい、ちょうどお見えになられました。
And glanced briefly through the window at her face, the woman put down her phone and said, "You're Suo Amina, correct?"
お車の代金はすでにいただいておりますので、どれでもお好きな車をお選びください。
はい？え？どういうこと？
この状況でレンタカーに目をつけるのはタナトスさんに予想されてたってこと？
予想というか、車を借りなきゃクリアできない条件を出したのはタナトスさんなんだし、最初からそう仕組まれてるって感じでしょうか。
Testing Amane's driving ability. Well, everyone's gonna be traumatized because of Amane.
なるほどね。タナトスさんらしいというか、なんというか。つーかさ、好きなの選べってのはありがたいんだけど。
None of these old cars look particularly appealing, to be honest. They had plenty of mini trucks, mainly Mazda motor cabs and Nuzuki Garys. Not to confuse with Mazda and Suzuki, okay? Numerous sedans, including 4 hardtop Nissan Glodias and Laurel HE 2000s SGX. A row of hatchbacks such as Mazda Familio XGs and non-total Monda City models. In other words, there wasn't a single car packing the sort of power they required.
唯一スポーツカーっぽいのはパルサーのミラの X1 か。せめて GTIR だったらな。
Technically called the X1 a hot hatch, but the X1E variant had a non-turbo OHC 16-valve 1500cc engine, meaning it was barely a car for old ladies. Still, it did have 97 horsepower, although that wasn't anything special given the car's size. Nothing else in this junkyard could really compare. Just as she was about to reluctantly select the X1, I'm gonna sense something slightly out of place at her side. So does this feeling seem to be a Toyota duet sitting next to the Bolstar in the hatchback corner.
あれ？このデュエット、もしかして。
I'm pretty sure it didn't start with I just want to bake bread. It went from I have traumatic issues in my life, and everyone else does too. To international terrorist organization threat things. Okay, could it be a Taihatsu Notoria? Shannon noticed at first because it was painted dark green, but it looked a bit like
クロス4。
Mud flaps hung loosely behind the tires. You could see a roll cage inside the passenger compartment. The backseat had been removed entirely. Trying to slow her racing heart, I'm gonna circle behind the car and on its rear found the X4 logo along with the TRS sticker of the Toyota Racing Service. To think I'd find you in a place like this. Felt something like running into a dear old friend at a train station. Almost as if I had been waiting there for years just for her. Overwhelmed by shock and joy, I'm gonna embrace the car with tears in her eyes.
この子にする。これ貸して。
Is that the... Irritated by the trembling of her own hands, she hurriedly filled out the rental paperwork. By the time the woman returned her license and handed her the keys, she managed to calm down at least a little. The Haitsu Notoria X4. To be certain, its endearingly round face and cheap minicar-style interior made it the very picture of an old lady vehicle. With its unassuming appearance belied its true identity, a genuine sports car boasting 120 horsepower, twin-turbo high-boost engine, and overall weight of only 840 kilograms. In accordance with the regulations for rally racing cars, its engine displacement came in at a rather unusual 713cc. With an obsessive focus on keeping the car light, even the air conditioning and the audio system were optional, meant to have more than enough power. It was in short a micro monster, ideally suited to zipping along the mountain roads with lots of tight corners. And its granny mobile exterior appealed to its fans, who often covered its seats in white lace to play up the wolf in sheep's clothing angle.
エンジンルームの排熱が悪いのかな。水温の上がりが早い。
When she pressed down the accelerator to see what would happen, the RPM rose only sluggishly, suggesting the engine turbines were ridiculously large. The numbers kept ticking up slowly, almost as if the fuel mixture was overly rich. As soon as the engine reached 5,000 RPM, the tachometer needle jumped fiercely upward, and the boost gauge shot up to 2.0 kPa.
ドピーキーだな。美味しいところは5000から8000の間かな。
With a car like this, you wanted to kick the clutch on even the tightest corners. But given how lightweight it was, if you happened to bump into something while turning into a curve, God only knows where you end up landing. At the same time, she had to make sure not to decelerate or let the RPM needle fall too much. On the uphill curves in particular, there'd be a real danger of the engine stalling if her entry was anything less than perfect.
これ結構やばい車かも。
Uh-oh, she's getting excited, guys.
ほらチルチル車に乗るのよ。
私乗らない。絶対乗 私じゃなくてもいいでしょ。マキナ、あんたが行きなさいよ。
そうは言ってもタナトスさんの指示は松島みちるって言ってたのよ。だからチルチルが行かなきゃダメなのよ。
Thanatos spoke, you know. I can't do anything about that.
な
Bye.
んで私を指定したのよ。
知らん。
みちる様、あまりわがままをおっしゃらないでください。後で好きなお菓子買ってあげますから。
子供じゃあるまいし、そんな言葉に騙されないわよ。
いらないんですか、お菓子。
何買ってくれるのよ。
何でもいいですよ。一つだけなら何でも好きなの買ってあげます。
Quick, get a full strawberry shortcake.
どうでもいいけど早くしてくれる？時間ないんだけど。
分かったわよ。乗ればいいんでしょ。乗れば。
というわけでみちる様の快諾が得られたところでよろしくお願いします、あまねさん。
With this, Sachi handed over Thanatos' phone, currently displaying an analog stopwatch. Time they had remaining was displayed in a separate counter on the bottom of the screen. Amina promptly jammed it into one of the car's cup holders.
じゃあ行ってくる。ごめんね、人乗せると重くなっちゃうから。とりあえずみちるだけ連れてく。
あまね気をつけるのよ。
Don't worry. She'll drive just fine.
わかってる。
Nodding to Makina, Amina reached out and started the stopwatch timer.
タイマーがゼロになったらスタートするよ。ほら、ちゃんとベルトした？
Amina's racing herself.
あばね、私まだお腹の具合が。
いい加減もう全部入っちゃったでしょ。時間がないのよ。最初はゆっくり行くから我慢して。
Take it slow, you say? Moving the short stroke shifter to pull the car in first gear. Amina glanced behind her, then eased her car around the nose toward the main road outside the lot. Flipping on her turn signal, she hit the brakes on the slanting sidewalk ramp. And keeping the car in a sprinter-style leaning hole shot stance, pushed the engine up towards 5,000 RPM. The verge of reaching the power band, she paused to double-check the area around her.
後方よし、前方よし、もう一度後方よし。行くよ、みちる。
ゆっくり行くんでしょ。ゆっくり行くって言ったよね。
私とみちるでゆっくりの解釈が少し違うかもしれないね。5、4、3、
3、2、
やっぱ降りる。
もう遅いっての。
ゼロ! The very instant her stopwatch finished counting down, I'm gonna roughly engage the clutch. The compact cross transmission let out a distinctive high-pitched whine. Less than 3 seconds, she burned right through first gear. She realized the accelerator pedal and stepping on the clutch exhaust from the turbines escaped audibly through the wastegate. Quickly moving the shift knob, she stepped down the accelerator once again, and in no time at all, she'd blown through second gear as well. The racing cross transmission like this one, gap to third gear was wide, but fourth and fifth would come easily afterwards. And even when changing gears, the engine kept moving at 7,500 RPM, allowing for steady acceleration.
おお、軽いせいかな。なんかポコポコ跳ねちゃうけど、いいぞ、いける。
下ろして。私は行きたくない。
Michiru's head sticking out the window like, no! Michiru screamed, the engine howled. The car rushed down the road, carrying two foolish young women in a very different states of mind. Thanatos had instructed them to bring Matsushima Michiru to the designated point within the allotted time. Letting her out clearly wasn't an option. As the city streets flew past outside her window, all she could do was wail in distress. Avoiding traffic lights where possible, Amma steered them through a series of back roads, eventually reaching the foot of the mountain they needed to cross. There she stopped the car and got out to examine it. As soon as the vehicle came to a halt, Michiru tumbled out of it, grabbed her mouth, and began to retch once more. By now she fully expelled the contents of her stomach, so only acid came up her throat. Watching her unfortunate friend out of the corner of her eye, Amina squatted down next to the car and checked the conditions of its tires. As tires like these were designed for racing, but they had a nasty tendency to lose their grip entirely when they got worn out.
大丈夫。タイヤはまだ生きてる。いい感じに熱が入ってドロドロだよ。
そうかい。そいつはよかったわね。私の胃もドロドロだわよ。もう着いたの。
何言ってんの？ここからが本番じゃない。
嘘
でしょ。もう無理。吐いても何も出ないわよ。
大丈夫。吐くだけ吐いて辛いのを通り越したら今度はだんだん気持ちよくなってくるから。
それってさ、脳がこれ以上はやばいって判断してんじゃないの？
ここからならあと30分もかからないからすぐに終わるって。ほら乗って、すぐに出るよ。
Yo, how gravity, man.
シルが
車が
As this girl puked out her own brain fluid somehow, for Michiru's sake, she clearly needed to finish this as quickly as possible. Before moving into serious mode, I'm going to flip the intercooler sprayer switch, hoping to lower its temperature somewhat. Generally speaking, you always want to keep your battery warm and your motor as cool as possible. Bursts of cooling help keep the airflow flowing into your engine stay dense, allowing for a greater concentration of oxygen in the air-fuel mixture, gaining you some of the power you lost due to heat. That said, engines tended to return to their normal temperature within a few minutes of being cooled, so this sort of procedure was only marginally useful. Amina always thought the acceleration felt a bit more responsive for a while afterwards, so it wasn't something she could totally dismiss. For one quick final check of the car's condition, glanced at her watch. 23 minutes were left. Even for Amina, getting past this mountain in that amount of time wasn't going to be easy.
というわけでここからは本気で行くよ。
本気。
本気って今までのは何だったの？
今までっていうか私隣に人を乗せて本気で走るのはこれが初めてだよ。
This the first time?
大丈夫なの？
信じてもらうしかないかな。まあホームコースだし大丈夫でしょ。
Michiru's probably like, what's a home course? For Amina came to Mihama when she was helping out her family with their business. She'd always taken this exact road over the mountain to pick up eggs from a poultry farm on the other side. Back then, her best time with the restaurant's mini truck was 27 minutes at 32.07 seconds. Oh, it's 27 minutes and 32.07 seconds. Based on that, they just weren't going to make it. But even so, behind the wheel of this car, she was definitely going to manage somehow. To go even further beyond! The X4 had been designed from the ground up to compete in rally races on public roads. That's just a typo. For some time after its debut, nothing could compare to its power. Amina had the greatest possible confidence in it. Although it didn't weigh any more than your average mini truck, it was packing an engine with some genuine horsepower. And unlike the 8-ply tires you find on an average mini truck, it's equipped with road legal S tires ideal for high-speed maneuvering. Firmly fastening her 4-point harness and pressing her hips against the back of her seat, Amina switched herself into time attack mode.
3、2、1、0、スタート!
Synchronizing with the countdown on her tachometer, the phone sitting on her dashboard, she waited for the second hand to hit 0, then began the race. A sudden burst of power sent them shooting forward. Some of it escaped to either side, making the X-Force frame tremble and groan. As the car accelerated explosively, its 4 shallow tread high-performance tires tore at the road surface. And when she turned the steering wheel, Amina sensed through her seat that its weight had shifted onto the outer rear tire. Just from the way the car moved, she could tell the exact condition of every tire.
いいぞ、加速が戻ってる。いっけー、クロス4!
Felt as if her brain was melting, but not in a bad way. For Suo Amina, acceleration was something like a narcotic. As a baby, she sat on her father's knee and reveled in the speed of his car. A part of her mind associated the sound of an engine with the comfort of her mother's womb. The faster she went, the closer she felt to heaven. It was an ecstatic and oddly soothing feeling. Amina had spent a good deal of time behind the wheel of a front-heavy mini-truck with a painfully short wheelbase and very little in the way of power. But if nothing else, coping with its floppy chassis and unforgiving handling had taught her how to precisely control the distribution of weight across her tires. And of course, she'd driven this road countless times. Under all possible conditions, she knew every curve and quirk like the back of her hand. When you threw in a genuinely powerful, maneuverable car like this one, it's almost unfair to everybody else, honestly.
いいぞ、ぐいぐい登る。やっぱターボってすごいな。足もしっとりしててよく動く。無駄に硬いだけの足より姿勢が作りやすい。
The key to success lay in this early uphill section, where her technical skills could gain her a few precious seconds here and there, but essentially decide her total time. Second half was downhill with a lot of straightaways, so the power of her car would be the only relevant factor. She had to gain as much time as she possibly could before then. For barreling through a sharp right turn at the top of third gear, she did the car into fourth while approaching the first checkpoint, a small store that sold general goods to campers. She'd gotten through the first section more than 4 seconds ahead of her best mini truck time. The next problem was a small jumping spot just past the bridge over the Rogoku River. If you were going too fast when you hit that point, all 4 of your wheels would leave the road, and you end up losing speed. Better to ease up on the throttle instead. Apart from the hairpin turns, she didn't allow her tires to slide around. No reason to let any power escape to the side when it could be pushing you forward instead. At the next checkpoint, a vending machine by the local liquor store, she gained another 2.5 seconds. Very nice pace. She could do this! Just as Amano was thrilling at the prospect of victory, the tail of another car appeared a little ways in front of her. Oh no! It's a Bugatti! Not to be confused with like a Bugatti. Vehicle in question was a Bugatti Byron. Yeah. By all accounts, the single most powerful super sports car in the world. As for the man driving this internationally famous machine, for the purpose of this episode, let's give him the name Beat Nose. God only knows what exactly this individual did for a living. He routinely purchased the most powerful cars he possibly could out of a rather inane desire to arrive at his friends' parties as quickly as humanly possible. He only recently gotten his hands on the godlike, incredible, expensive monster he was currently driving. Naturally enough, he'd been on cloud 9 for weeks.
Yeah, なんやろな。これ乗っとるとバッキネンが来ても負ける気せえへんわ。やっぱ最強の車の条件言うんは価格と馬力と運転のしやすさやな。
I think it does sound like Turkey Man, yeah. In short, having obtained this divine gift, the beak-nosed man was totally drunk on his power. But just a moment ago, he noticed a small family car on the road behind him. Look at that, guys! Right there! You want your competition? There it is. Right here. Who is that? You're about to find out. Turkey Man never dies, exactly. Although he was trying not to use too much gasoline and wear out his tires, the man was still moving at a very decent clip. So when he glanced in the rearview mirror and saw that unassuming little vehicle approaching, he was understandably dumbfounded.
嘘やろ？どっから出てきてあの車？つかなんで追いついてこれんねんきしょいわ。よっしゃ！ほなバイロン様の本気いうやつをちょいと見せつけたろかいな。
On even the briefest of straightaways, all you had to do was press down the accelerator and the Byron would accelerate as much as you wanted. On Japan's narrow highways, however, you couldn't keep the accelerator all the way down for even a single second. The next corner will be right in front of you in the blink of an eye. Oh, he's going. This was an ungodly expensive car and had the power proportion to its cost. Beak-Nose's confidence was absolute. You know what? Let's just call him Turkey Man. Certain that he left the small interloper far behind, he glanced into his mirror, only to find that the distance between them had actually shrunk. You could feel the hairs on his back of his neck standing. Tokyo drift time, baby?
嘘やんなんでやねんつかあれ何あんなんお前親戚の姉ちゃんが駅まで送ってったろかいう時に乗る車やんけ
Literally meant for this style of race. But for some reason, every time he went around a corner, it was getting closer and closer. How could a granny mobile like that be chasing down a Byron? Didn't make the slightest damn sense.
といえばカーといえばバイロンやぞなんでやねんな
Reality was bearing steadily down on him. It was difficult for Turkey Man to accept. Whenever he touched the brake pedal to approach a corner, the enduring grill face of the X4 grew larger and larger in his rearview mirror. There it is! Its driver was taking advantage of the car's low weight to hit the brakes much later than him, more than compensating for their difference in horsepower. Turkey Man had forgotten one crucial advantage that any motor vehicle could possess, the nimbleness of a featherweight.
嘘やバイロンやねんぞ
By smugly assuming that expensive technology could render him invincible, the man had invited his own doom. To Turkey Man, the dark green vehicle in his rearview mirror was no longer just a car. It was a Mitsubishi A6M fighter plane on the tail of his F4U Corsair. You know, that makes a lot more sense to me. Thank you to studying naval warfare and understanding like carrier boats and such. And anyway, an enemy he couldn't shake off no matter how he squirmed.
あれはゼロやゼロはまだ生きとったんや
Zero was riding his ass. For a turkey man who's grown up hearing his American grandfather's stories about his days as a fighter pilot, the thought was enough to fill him with absolute terror. A trickle of cold sweat ran down his spine, in combination with the psychological pressure bearing down on him, slowed his reaction time slightly. Oh no! With the next corner approaching far too quickly, Turkey Man hurriedly slammed on his brakes. The pedal vibrated beneath his feet as the electronic ABS activated. When he finally moved his steering wheel, the Byron obediently turned its nose inward, but was already too late. In the very next instant, the dark green Zero had pushed its goofy little snout to the slight gap he left on the inside of the curve. Ah! Just as these words left Turkey Man's mouth, he heard a rush of exhaust from the X-Force wastegate. The driver changed gears. The sound was very, very close. Oh no, they're right next to me. We're gonna collide! The Byron had only just changed its bearing. Given its unusual body, Turkey Man didn't have a precise sense of how much space there was between the two vehicles. The fear of a high-speed collision left his hands frozen on the wheel. Once again, he was forced to slam down the brakes, this time even harder than before. Byron's mid armor needle dropped rapidly. In the flash of an eye, the dark green devil slipped ruthlessly past him. Felt as if a murderous creature had lunged by with an awful smirk on his face, swinging a bloody knife at his throat. His will to fight utterly broken, Turkey Man sat like a statue in his luxurious seat. For a moment he managed to swallow. The adrenaline had drained from his body. The shivers were running down his spine. So he eased off the accelerator, slowly and quietly pulled over into the shoulder. As his hands left the steering wheel, he realized they were trembling. Felt as if he'd just awoken from a terrible nightmare. But he knew the truth. That devilish thing, the dark green Zero, was all too real. He met a monster and survived. His mind was full of both relief and terror. Wrapping his arms tightly around his leather steering wheel, Turkey Man leaned forward and quietly wept. It's so dramatic! He cried that day. Monster and Michiru was still fastened tightly into the Zero's passenger seat and spent the entire ride staring vacantly into space with the expression of someone trying to force a sneeze. By the time she regained consciousness, the car had already come to a stop.
着いたの。地図で指示された場所ってだいたいこの辺だと思うんだけど。
And thus the saga of Turkey Man comes to a close. We will miss you, Turkey Man, forever. Looking at her watch, Amina found they made it with 15 seconds to spare. That said, they were currently sitting in the middle of a farm road, surrounded by fields. The only other human beings in sight was a farmer who seemed to be taking a stroll with her cow.
あの牛連れたおばちゃんが次のヒントくれるのよ。
え？そんなまさか。
ちょっと聞いてくる。
ちょっと、みちる？
Nora Amina's attempts to stop her, Michiru leapt out of the car and ran over to the old woman.
つか、なんて声かける気よ。
松島みちるです。ヒントをください。松島みちるです。
そのままかーい。
Smacking the steering wheel with the back of her hand, Amina reflexively provided the obvious retort. Naturally enough, the old lady with the cow was rather taken aback as well.
案外よ、わかんねえんだけっちょもよ。誰がどう間違ってんでねえのげ？あれ？違う！どういうこと？おめあれが頭の病気が。あいや、シャエバ山の向こうにサナトリウムちゅうのがあんで、そこ行って相談しれ。まあ、キャンミの毛こんな色さなるまでバカになってしもうて、お気の毒なこと。違います。松島バカじゃありません。松島は
I'm just... Oh. Cow lady. Did you really look that dumb at a glance? Was it her hair? As Michiru earnestly pondered whether to abandon the bottle blonde way of life, something in the old woman's clothing began to emit an electronic jingle.
おお、電話だな。ちょっくらごめんなんしゃ。
Reaching into her breast pocket, the cow lady took out her smartphone with the stylized apple on the back. Ah! It's an iPhone.
あいや、なじゃした？
Looking at the screen with more force than was really necessary, she pressed the phone to her ear. After a brief conversation in which the old lady contributed only a few grunts, she turned back to stare at Michiru with a slightly dubious look in her eyes.
おお、確かに小汚い黄色いのおっけど。 はあ、こいつのことかの。お嬢ちゃん、名前なんて言うたかの。松島です。松島みちるです。ほんじゃったらおめえに電話だ。
Michiru eagerly brought the old lady's phone to her ear as expected. The voice on the other end of the line belonged to Thanatos.
おいっす。タナトスジャケットもよ。
She was using the cow lady's dialect.
ちょっと、こんなとこに呼び出してどういうことよ。何もないじゃない。
まあ、あなたたちの機動力をテストしただけだから、目的地なんてどこでもよかったのよ。
I was just testing Amina at her best, you know.
次で最後だから頑張りなさいな。いい？今から言うことを暗記して。次の指令は、現在位置から東へ30キロの方向に東海線の東松浜駅があるから、そこに向かいなさい。
そんなことを言うだけのためにこんなところに呼び出したの？そんなの電話かければすぐに済む用事じゃない。なんでわざわざこんな場所に呼び出して牛のおばちゃんの電話を使うの？おかげでちょっと恥かいたじゃないのよ。恥かいた。
だって電話だけ指定場所に送るという方法を取られたらテストの意味がないでしょ。だから現地の回線であなたの存在を確認するためにこうしたのよ。
Thanatos, we need to conclude the saga of Turkey Man, so he had you come out here where he was. Very true.
まあ電話だけを40キロ離れた場所に送ったとしても、それはそれで評価すべき手腕だとは思うけれど、今回はダメ。わかる？
He is the most important character. Well, okay, he's the second most important character.
わかんにゃい。
よし、それでいい。わからないときは私の言葉だけを信じなさい。いいわね、松島みちる。
あおー
あうーじゃないわよ。はいかいいえかはっきりしないのがあなたの悪い癖よ。
はい、わかったわよ。ちゃんと言う通りにすればいいんでしょ。
はい、いい子ね。じゃあ牛のおばさまにお礼を言って次の行動に移りなさい。この豚。
今豚って言った？
言ってないわよ。
あ、そう。空耳ならいいんだけど。
急ぎなさい、豚。
あれ、やっぱ豚って言ってるよね。
小汚い黄色い豚。
おやおや、はっきりと言っちゃってるよね。
The very next instant, the phone call abruptly came to an end. And Michiru's howl of rage vanished unheard into the peaceful fields and the clear blue sky above them. Except by the old cow lady. She's like, whatever. This lady's... We'll gather in many places. Dentist's office on Friday. The beach in summer. But the station is always a particularly popular choice. About 1 hour after receiving her new orders, Michiru arrived at the train station she'd been directed to. Found it overly flowing with pedestrians.
はーい、到着。お疲れ。
普通に運転しようと思えばできるんじゃない。
刀を持っているからといっていつも抜刀して歩いてる侍はいないでしょ。同じことだよ。
Amina is not a samurai. She's literally a racer who plays a vehicle user.
何よそれ。
すぐに刃物を抜くやつはただのチンピラだって話。それより駅に着いたら何しろって？
知らないわよ。とにかく駅に行けって言われただけだし。
何よそれ。
だから知らないわよ。私に聞かないでくれる？
It'd be funny if they're selling like pork cutlets.
ほらみちる、電話。
わかってるわよ。はい、もしもし。
At a train station.
あら、なんだか私に対する不満がありそうなテンションね。元気を出していきましょうよ。それこそダンスでも踊る勢いで。
あんたのせいでしょうがよ。豚って言った。私のこと豚って言った。
口を開けば何かとブーブー文句を言ってうるさいからよ。
I mean, yeah.
謝りなさいよ。謝れ。
そうね。ごめんなさい、豚さん。 まあそろそろ鬱陶しいから無視して話を進めるけれど、ここからはあなた一人で行動しなさい。ところで松島みちる、あなたダンスは得意？
ダンス？
そう、例えばワルツとか。
そんなの踊ったことないわよ。
そう、じゃあ教えてあげる。まずは携帯電話のコンパスの画面を見て。西に247度。
270？
247度よ。20メートル先に売店が見えるでしょ。次に床を見て。タイルの目地に沿ってまっすぐに11歩進む。
11歩。
焦らないでいいわ。いつものペースで歩きなさい。ただし11歩以上歩いてはダメよ。
1歩、2歩、3歩。
They're just shaking the screen up and down, guys.
いちいち声に出さないでいいから頭の中で数えなさい。それと指を折って数えるのも禁止。
むずい。
松島さん、今何時
？11時36分。
ありがとう。ところで今何歩目？
忘れた。
7歩目よ。本当におバカね、あなた。
さいな、あんたがごちゃごちゃ言うからでしょうが。
いいから歩きなさい。あと4歩。
7、8、9、10、11。
is Michiru's test to follow directions? I'm not sure.
だから声に出すなと。
あれ？私また喋ってた？
まあいいわ。あと半歩進んで。あなたおバカな上に短足ね。
なんなのよもう。
次は北に340度。4歩進んで一旦止まって。
So step, 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 half step, turn, force. Oh yeah, she is teaching her the waltz. Okay.
ちゃんと説明しなさいよ。私今何やらされてるの？
いいから言う通りに。
はい1歩2歩3歩4歩これでいい？
ちゃんと歩幅を守りなさいな。あなた少し大股で歩いたわね。薄汚い金髪がカメラに見切れてるわ。
カメラ？
その場で顔を右に向けてみなさい。天井に半球状のものがついているでしょ。それがカメラよ。あなたにはそれらに映らないように移動してもらっているの。
何のために？なんで映っちゃダメなの？
Yo, shoutouts to the little graphical glitch where Michiru's twin tails are so long they just come up right there.
国に対して牙を向こうという人間がのんきにライブカメラに間抜け面さらすわけにはいかないのよ。日本中に設置されたライブカメラは私の目です。私の目に触れるということは政府の目に触れるということなの。記録が残れば物的証拠にもなります。お分かり？
全然わかんにゃい。
それでよし。とにかく私の指示通りに動きなさい。分かった？
船、売店でイカの塩辛売ってる。
買いに行くな。というか私の話を聞いて。お願いだから。
Oh, okay, no, it's actually her speaking out at the camera. Recent years, the term tsundere enjoyed growing usage on various social networks. It was now increasingly accepted as part of the Japanese language. Naturally, Thanatos was familiar with the term in its conceptual basis. Given that there were fixed rules and behavioral patterns involved, she assumed that such individuals would be quite easy to deal with. By this point, she was aware of how wrong she'd been. In practice, a tsundere was an aggravatingly unmanageable creature, and it didn't help that Matsuri Michiru was personally prone to sudden and dramatic mood swings. On the whole, this was well more than she'd bargained for. Somewhat belatedly, Thanatos was beginning to realize that referring to someone as a tsundere was really just a roundabout way of calling them a royal pain in the ass. In the face of a problem so thorny that Pass after pass of calculation and simulation ended in failure. Sometimes even an ultra-advanced supercomputer simply had to sigh. Wow, Michiru is so random and out of the scope of an ultra-advanced supercomputer can't keep up with her. Yo, that is stupidly genius. Or genius stupidity? I don't know. Of course, since sighing and exasperation was a quintessentially human display of emotion, some might even have considered that proof of Thanatos' perfection.
振り幅の不安定は回数をこなすことで学習するしかないわね。面白いわ。
はい。
次は南西240度へ3歩。
ああ、はいはい。南西240度へ3歩ね。1、2、3。
はい、そこで止まって。
ここで？
あ、失礼。
急に立ち止まるから後ろの人に追突されるのよ。
ああ、だって止まれって言ったじゃん。
なんだかあなた、私が気を利かせて背後を確認しながら止まりなさいと言ったら、今度は前から来た人とぶつかりそう。
そこまでバカじゃないし。
Hey, could you tell me the way?
外国人観光客に道聞かれてるんじゃないわよ。そんな頭してるから声かけられるんでしょ。
なんて答えればいいの？
あなたの心臓はアメリカに住んでいたって設定なんだから、英語ぐらい話せるでしょ。
設定っていうの実際住んでたわよ。
だったらさっさと頭を切り替えて答えなさいな。
わかってるわよ。I'm sorry. I don't know this area very well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
何その熾烈かつ貧しい英語力。
うるさいな。アメリカ在住って言ったって日本人街に住んでりゃこんなもんなのよ。
Or rather, I don't think Michiru let the other Michiru take over.
という設定。
設定言うな。
まあいいわ。一応会話は成立するようだし、使い道もあるでしょ
う。なんか全然納得いかないんですけど。
Training Michiru to be a spy is impossible. Or rather, she's so perfect for spy because no one will ever expect it.
説得する気もないし、納得する必要もありません。右を見て。
右？
バカが見る。
もう帰ってもいい？
冗談よ。一応右と左の区別はつくようね。
私そこまでバカの子だと思われてる。
そこから右にコインロッカーが見えるでしょ。
うん、見える。
そこへ行ってちょうだい。当然コインロッカーにも監視用のカメラが設置されているけれど、今そこのカメラにはダミーの映像をループさせてあるから無視していいわ。
She would forget she's supposed to be a spy? Okay.
何よ。だったら最初から全部そうすればよかったじゃない。大した用もないのに駅の中をぐるぐるぐるぐる歩かせて、最初からすぐにここに案内しなさいよ。
ありものの映像を切りのいいところでつなぎ合わせただけのショートループ映像だから、あまり長時間は騙せないのよ。いいからさっさと行ってロッカーを開けなさい。
開けるって、鍵は？
ポケットの中。
Reaching tentatively into her pocket, Michiru found an unfamiliar key within it.
いつの間に？
さっき人とぶつかったでしょ。あの時よ。携帯電話を渡した時もそうだったけれど、メンバーの中ではあなたが一番好きだらけでネタを仕込みやすいのよね。
And you'll never know it's planted on you. Even better.
あなたって子供の頃学校で背中にバカって書いた紙を貼られていじめられたことない？
ないわよ。
そう？なんだかあなたって学生服の背中に友達の上履きの足跡とかつけたままクスクス笑われながら授業を受けてたかわいそうな子ってイメージなんだけれど。
的確に言い当ててんじゃないわよ。あんたエスパ
ー。いいからロッカーを開けなさい。
分かったわよ。まったく。
All she had to do was check the tag attached to her key and locate the locker marked with the same number. Even with the task this simple, you couldn't help but feeling a bit concerned when Matsume Michiru was involved. A woman like this was to graduate from school and get a job at the local power plant. Everyone who knew her would be sweating buckets every time they flipped the light switch. She might have some potential as an energy conservation
ロ
tool.
ッカーは見つかった？
あったあった。
Pushing her key into the locker's keyhole, she gave it a turn and opened the little door. A single piece of paper was taped up inside. Don't turn around. Naturally enough, Michiru was rather puzzled by this strange message.
これってどういう意味？
As the words left her mouth, she reflexively turned around to look behind her. Just a worker carrying a Lugu and stapler happened to be passing by. All too predictably, the latter hit Michiru in the head with a magnificent thunk, causing her neck to bend in a highly unnatural fashion.
あ、すいません。
Well, she's rolling! Keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? Clutching her head in her hands, Michiru collapsed to the ground and began to convulse like a fish tossed up on the shore.
だから振り返るなと書いてあったでしょうに。それなのにどうして振り返るのかしら。私はあまり詳しくないのだけれど、それがツンデレというものなの？
I mean, you're not wrong, Thanatos. Katsuki, you're not wrong.
まあそういうものだと理解しておけば、それはそれで制御も可能か。
She's dying.
ちょっと私の話を聞いている？もしかして死んじゃった？
死んでないわよ。
あらよかった。だったらさっさと起き上がりなさいな。
あんたね、これはただのいじめよ。
でもおかげであなたのことがよくわかったわ。ひどいことをしてごめんなさい。
This is all just so Thanos can beat up Michiru for the day? No.
う
Surprising understanding, Michiru.
とりあえずロッカーの中の紙を剥がしてちょうだい。その紙の裏にテープでロッカーの鍵が貼り付けてあるでしょ。
あった。
それは隣のロッカーの鍵よ。開けてごらんなさい。
Be funny said don't turn around again.
大丈夫。もう何も仕掛けはないわ。そこがゴール。
嘘じゃないでしょうね。信用するからね。
Michiru opened the second locker and slowly and fearfully, half expecting something to pop out of her like a jack in the box. But as Thanatos had promised, there were no traps inside, only 4 cell phones.
電話？
そう、電話。その携帯電話ならタナトスシステムのシギントに触れないわ。
Ah, the equipment!
シギントって何？
簡単に言えば通信傍受による諜報活動網のことよ。あなたたちが日頃意識せずに使っている携帯電話の会話やメールの内容はすべてタナトスシステムによって監視されています。
あ、それなんかユミコから説明された気がする。っていうか本当にそんなことってできるの？
You should be more amazed by the fact that there's phones that can use networks that aren't tracked by that system, actually. Michiru, but okay.
できるわよ。簡単に言ってしまえば政府のワードノートに記載された言葉や文字に反応して記録しているの。例えば次元爆弾の作り方なんてワードで検索エンジンを使ったりすれば、
So basically, Sachi's on that watch list.
検索した本人も気づかないうちにかなりの高確率でトラップの網にかかって記録されるわ。
So basically, Sachi.
他にも銀行強盗なんて言葉を電話で口にすれば即座に発信者と受信者を特定して記録。会話の内容の危険度が検討されるというわけ。
Don't talk about bank robberies on the phone anyway.
すごいじゃない。それってすごいじゃない。
まあでもそんな網にかかるのは雑魚ばかりで、本当に狡猾な人たちは当然のごとく隠語とか暗号で会話をするから大きな成果は出ないのだけれど、とにかくその電話を使えば足がつかないから今後の電話連絡はそれを使うように。
タダでもらっていいの？
ええ、もちろん。電話機本体0円、通話料もパケット料も無料だからガンガン話せるし、じゃんじゃんメールも打てるわよ。
Michiru's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna text everybody.
ただしあなたたち5人による相互通話はできるけれど他の電話にかけることはできないわよ。
何よそれ。あんま意味なくない？喜んで損した。
As if Michiru calls anybody else, right?
いいじゃない。どうせ他にかける相手もいないでしょ。
確かにそうですけど。
She was perfectly aware she didn't have many friends, but when someone went out of their way to point it out, it still offended her. In this respect, among many others, Matsumi Michiru was an exceptionally difficult person. At the end of the day, that was probably just her nature. Almost too difficult. Too difficult for the Thanatos
というわけで人数分の電話もらってきたわよ。
Oh snap! Phones for everybody!
うえ真っ黒な携帯かよ。もっと他の色なかったの？なんだかユミちゃんの携帯みたいで全然色気がないのよさ。
Wow.
悪かったわね。どうせ地味な女よ。
What's wrong with black though? I like black.
無難な黒かシルバーがいいと思って黒を選んでみたのだけれど、不評？
Maka's like, yes.
どうせならもっと可愛い色が良かったのよさ。
そう。例えば何色？
ピンクかな。
あんたってばほんとピンク好きよね。洋服とかも迷った時はいっつもピンクを選ぶし。
Really?
わかったわ。次からイリスさんに物を支給するときはピンク色のものを支給します。
ごめんね、なんかわがまま言って。
いいのよ。
とりあえず今回の件であなたの化け物じみた情報操作能力は理解できたわけだけれど。
But you can't predict the antics of Matsuma Michiru. Wait, what?
化け物。まあ事実私には足と呼べるものは存在しないし、お化けのようなものかもしれないけれど、もう少し言葉を選んでいただけると嬉しいわ。
I think monstrous was the word she meant, not monster.
あ、ごめんなさい。でもこれでテストは終了でしょ。そろそろあなたの作戦とやらを聞かせていただけないかしら。
It's time for the good stuff.
まだダメよ。せっかちな子ね。
She didn't test Yumiko, right?
時間がないと言ったのはあなたよ。
時間がないからこそくだらない計算違いをしたくないの。そのためのテストでしょ。
テストはもう終わったんでしょ。
ええ。でも作戦に入る前に確認しておきたいことが2つあるの。まず確認したいのはあなたたちの目的ね。
それはもちろん風見雄二の奪還よ。
Ah, easy.
当然彼は生きたまま奪還したいのよね。
そうね。できることなら無傷での奪還が望ましいわ。
It's gonna be hard.
そのためにどの程度の犠牲を覚悟できる？
どの程度って。
そうね。例えば松島みちるに爆弾持たせてヒースオスロに抱きつかせるとか、そういったプランは許容できるかしら？
Poor Michiru.
構うものか。いかなる犠牲も厭わない。
構いなさいよ。少しは厭いなさいよ。っていうか無理。つうか怖い。あんたなんて作戦考えてるのよ。電話じゃなかったら殴ってるわよ。もうじゃないわよ。
つまりは命がけといったレベルの活動はしたくないと。
ええ、そう。この世にローリスクハイリターンなんて存在しないのは理解してはいるけれど、
At the very least, all of them coming out alive, right?
その上でできる限りのリスクマネジメントを心がけていただけると嬉しいわね。
It's a fair demand, I think, right?
けどそれだとどうしても利益と損失が相殺されてしまうわね。典型的な均衡型理論に落ち着く形になってしまう。大失敗はしないけれど大成功もしない。
じゃあどうしろってんのよ。
やはりみちる様に言っていただくしか手段が。
だからなんで私の犠牲を前提に作戦を立てようとするの。
バカ一匹と風見雄二、どちらを取るかみんなでよく話し合ってください。
Now Thanatos is just joining on the conversation.
え、
もちろん冗談よ。ごめんなさい。でもあなた今それでうまくいくのならって一瞬本気で考えたわよね。
Michiru's willing to go all the way.
そんなこと
いいのよ。あなたのそういうバカっぽい純粋さは決して嫌いではないし、とても貴重な人間だとも思う。
That's true. Michiru is somebody who's willing to go, to risk it all if it means to save someone else.
安心なさい。あなたは愛されるべきバカよ。
You're a lovable idiot.
なんか複雑な気分。
じゃあ結局私たちはどう戦えばいいの？
Yeah, I can see why in the spin-off now. When it comes to Kazuki and Michiru, definitely Kazuki's match is Michiru herself. The ultimate genius versus the biggest, the most lovable idiot. Oh, it's great. It's a great contrast.
戦ってはダメ。素人がプロを相手に、ましてや国を相手に戦うのは無理。ましてや命を大事になんて前提があれば絶対に無理。真正面からぶつかれば障子紙より簡単に破られてしまうわ。
じゃあどうするってのよさ。
Catch him by surprise. Infiltration. Don't take him on head on.
あのね、端的に言ってあなたたちのしようとしていることは国家反逆罪なの。それは理解しているわよね。そしてそれは何の後ろ盾もない学生風情が企てていい計画ではない。それも理解できているでしょう。
生半可な覚悟で立ち上がったわけではないのよさ。平和に生きる権利など母親の腹の中に置いてきたのよ。その程度の障害など元より承知。
Machina is here to talk up the game.
ああ、うん、そうね。そうでしょうね。なんだか鼻息が荒いところに冷や水をかける大人ぶった発言のようで気が引けるのだけれど、とりあえず言っておきます。我慢して聞いてね。つまりガキならガキらしくもっと身の丈に合った犯罪をしなさいということ。
何を？
榊由美子、あなたはどう思うのかしら？
返す言葉もないわね。
何よ、作戦を与えるみたいな偉そうなことを言っておいて結局何もできないんじゃないあんた。
私のせいにされても困るわ。命もかけることができないような人間に大業をなせるわけなんてないじゃない。
それを言われてしまえばグーの音も出ませんね。ここはやはりミチル様を。
Oh no! Sachi, stop trying to kill Michiru off.
離れろ。とにかくその発想から離れてお願いだから。
命をかけることはできない。では聞くけれど、逆に命以外の全てをかけることはできる？
どういうこと？
これまであなたたちが大切にしてきた財産や家族、それどころか自分の名前や存在までも捨てることはできますかと聞いているのです。お互いに生きたまま風見雄二と再会することができるのであれば、それ以外の全てを捨てる覚悟がありますか？
覚悟がなければここにはいないよ。それに私はもう決めたの。今度こそ逃げないって。
Oh.
あら、それは困ったわね。あなたには気合を入れて全力で逃げてもらわないと困るのだけれど。いい？近々風見雄二の身柄は裁判のために市ヶ谷から赤坂に移送されるわ。そこであなたたちにはひったくりをやってもらいます。
Oh.
ひったくり？
ええ、そう。細かいプランはこれから組み立てていくけれど、あなたたちには風見雄二を取り返したら戦わずに全力で逃げてもらいます。捕まらずにそのまま逃げ切ればあなたたちの勝ち。捕まってしまったら負け。単純でしょ？
Make sure the boat's rolled up.
例えるならあなたたちはバカなシマウマなの。ライオンに我が子を奪われ、それを取り返そうとしているバカなシマウマ。もし失敗すれば自分も食べられてしまうと分かっていても、 それでも諦めきれない愚かれば、少なくとも命だけは助かる。
It's true.
まずはそれを約束してちょうだい。もし約束できなければ、この話はなかったことにします。
Hello? Is it just not sending a signal now?